In Croatian historiography, there are 3 candidates for the title of the first king of Croatia. By tradition, the first Croatian king is the early 10th century ruler, King Tomislav. This is based on a papal letter addressing him with the Latin title Rex, or king, upon the opening of the 925 Church Council of Split. Some dispute the veracity of this, as the records of the Church Councils of Split are found as addendums in a 16th-17th century edition of the 13th century chronicle Historia Salernitana by Thomas the Archdeacon of Split. The counter-argument to this is that the entries on the Council of Split are believable, and there is nothing that says that the events didn't happen. Someone just found the records of the council and inserted them into the appropriate chronicle. And if we held to stringent standards of removing sources based on distance of their discovery to the original writing or the event they describe, then a lot of ancient history would have to be dismissed, but I digress. The whole matter around Tomislav has further been muddied by 19th century historians who wanted to bolster Tomislav's legitimacy as the first king, and to that end they had a very distorted interpretation of an entry in the questionable chronicle of the priest of Duklja, where the coronation of another ruler is taken as Tomislav's. So if we were to disregard tradition because of these problems, who are the other candidates for the first Croatian king? Well, one is Tomislav's descendant, the later 10th century king Stephen Držislav, who received a crown and other regalia from the Byzantine emperor, and took the name Stephen, which can be translated to mean the crowned. This is derived from the 13th century edition of the chronicle Historia Salernitana. The other option is Tomislav's predecessor and founder of the Trpimirović dynasty in the 9th century, Prince Trpimir. In the writings of a monk called Gottschalk, who found refuge in Trpimir's court, Trpimir is referred to with the title of Rex or king. So if the case for Trpimir is almost the same as that for Tomislav, why isn't Trpimir considered the first king? Well, probably because Gottschalk's writings were not known about in Croatia before the Tomislav tradition was established. Plus, Tomislav is referred to as king by the Pope, and not a monk sucking up to his protector. So who was, in my opinion, the first king of Croatia? Well, it is Tomislav. I haven't been given convincing enough reason to not believe the records of the Church Councils of Split, and if the early medieval pope calls you a king, you're a king. The issue Croatian historiography has is that the Croatian kingdom under the native royal family with its own royal court peaks too early, and does not survive into the age of chronicle writing. Chronicles and writings that mention Croatian kings mainly focus on other subjects. There is no patron with a vested interest in Croatian royal history to provide a grand narrative of the royal line. And if there ever was such a chronicle, there are many occasions where such records could have been lost or destroyed.